Okay, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Monday for all those that are coming back off vacation or holiday. Welcome back to the world. For those that have been in the world without stop, welcome to the new week. And we're going to keep on chugging along in the path that we've sort of started together last week. And for those that are new to this, check back on some of the archives. Let either Andy or I know about it, and we'll let you know where to go. For those who are joining us now for the first time for the week, yesterday we spoke. We actually have a show on Sunday, believe it or not. We're 6 days a week. We spoke yesterday about this idea of flooding your mind, right? The idea that we've been touching upon, which is your mind is limited in what it can take in at any given moment. And when you know that, you start to be able to leverage it to your benefit. One of the great mistakes that we make in our lives is that we are really good at knowing what we think we're good at, and we're really bad at knowing what we're not good at. And that's a big mistake. We should spend a lot of time figuring out what we're not good at, what our deficiencies are. And in fact, if we spent more time on that, we probably would be much more successful, because what happens in life is that when you're not fully aware of what you can do, you spend too much time trying to do the thing that you think you can do, but you can't. When you're confident that you're valuable in this world, and you know that you're born deficient, all of us are born deficient. That's how God created the world. We actually have a blessing that we thank God for creating souls and their deficiencies. And the reason why we bless God for that is because we understand that if each of us were born perfect, we would not need each other. And so no one would ever need a relationship, right? If a person can give birth to themselves entirely, there would be no family structure. And so the whole relationships of the family, you start to realize, is valuable into itself. If I can do everything myself, I don't need the world around me. And so I may have the thing in front of me, but I lose the relationship. This is a major mistake that lots of companies fail on. I spend a large portion of my day helping companies get better. And one of the major misses that it's like unbelievable, is that companies are filled with individuals who think they can do it all. And they are so focused on the result, the product, the service, the client, that they forget that half of the success of any company is the relationships of the corporate staff, the employees. And that relationship builds a world that produces much better products, much better services. The ability to focus on deficiency is critical when it's done through the light, through the eyes, if you will, of knowing that you're already valuable. You're not using your deficiencies as a sign of what you're not. Using your deficiencies as a sign of what needs to be fixed because you have what to do. And this is a whole long conversation. Maybe we'll do this one day, but this is a long conversation. But back to what we were talking about. One of our deficiencies is that we're limited in our scope. We don't have the ability to take in the information that we need. We'd like to think that we're Sherlock Holmes, and we walk into a scene and we can pick up the fact that, that person had one sock being wet and one not, which means they stepped into a puddle. Like, we think like we love to pick up the clues of life, but we don't. We miss most of the real clues. We miss what people are really thinking in their facial expressions. We miss a lot of things. My wife and I were having this conversation. Now, Baruch Hashem, we're home a lot. So we're like doing more cleaning, and we're pulling out old albums, and we're looking at the kids when they were much younger, and we don't even remember that time. We're remembering, and we're discussing, my wife and I, about just how deficient our memory is. Like, we have no recollection of like 5 years of our lives. Like, where did it go? Like, I don't remember the kids looking between 4 and not, like, I don't have any recollection of that kid being 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, where was I? Was I even like paying attention? Did I just like space out for a half a decade? And the answer is no, your brain's deficient. Your mind is deficient. You can't remember everything in the past. You can't take in all the information in front of you. If you think you can, you're bound to fail. But once you recognize you can't, now at least you can use it. Use your deficiencies. There's got to be some brand of martial arts that speaks to this. Using the deficiencies of yourself or your opponent to your benefit. But that's how life works. And one of our greatest deficiencies is that we're limited. Now that could be a problem when people try to think like they're more than they are. And that's why they just keep on being mediocre. But if we realized it and embraced it and said, wait, I'm fairly deficient in my mind. I can basically take very little in every day. I don't remember much from the past, and I really can't predict the future well. Right now we're in this game. With God's help, we have a bar mitzvah coming up in a month, and we don't even know what it'll be. And we're trying to predict, and then we realize that we're really bad at predicting. Like really bad at predicting. Humans are really bad at predicting. We're biased. And so by recognizing that and just digesting it, we are so much further along than most. Most people will fight that recognition for their whole lives. You'll sit with someone who's like lecturing you on something they have no idea about. You ever have that? People will just walk in and like say things. I'm like, where are you getting this from? How would you know this? The answer is they don't. They just collected like a little bit of information and like they put it together and think they know everything. And their greatest block is not that they're deficient. Their greatest block is that they've never recognized their deficiency. The recognition that we're deficient and the ability to be okay with that is so critical for greatness. That's why most great people have people around them to help them. They have coaches, they have mentors, they have people around them because they're so focused on trying to be better that they don't have the time for that bias of I got it all. They know they have deficiencies and they're so in tuned with their deficiencies that they want someone to either help them solve it or get someone else to be their teammate. And this deficiency that we have of limited scope can be so powerful when we realize that we need to control the screen time. We need to control what we are putting into that limited scope. And if we can do that and hold on just for long enough till it becomes normalized in our mind, then we can actually change how we feel. If I can control what I'm focused on and I can assert my attention, if I assert my control over the attention that I have, just hold that piece where my eyes go, where my mind wanders just for a few seconds, that ability to shine the flashlight into the place where I want to shine it and not what the world sends to me, that one little linchpin could be one of the greatest difference makers of our lives. It allows us to turn around and shine a flashlight in a direction that is positive, which will then, because our mind is limited, send in positive information, which will then make us feel different and then make us feel more empowered for the task in front of us. When I begin my day being grateful for the things that I have, and I can shine my attention on the things that I do have and focus on them more and recognize how lucky I am even if I'm missing things, the feeling that I get from that is positive. It's empowering. It's humbling. Then when my mind is now thrown to something that I don't have, I'm feeling totally different. I'm not coming at a 0 and getting knocked down. I'm coming at a 50 or a 70 or at an 80. I'm getting right into the world over here. This is one of the great principles the rabbis teach us, which is we have an obligation, a mitzvah, an obligation to be always happy. And the rabbis tell us it doesn't mean that you have to be like off the charts, to the moon, blow away happy. That happens sometimes. But if you're always filling up the tank of appreciation and positivity, and you're always almost full or overflowing in your happiness, there will be moments that will suck out a lot of that. I had this yesterday with a client I'm working on. I had a difficult conversation yesterday. I left the home. I was feeling very happy. I was trying to feel very grateful. And I walked to the supermarket. And as I was shopping for our family, I had a very tough conversation with somebody. And I remember feeling like zapped yesterday. But as I was zapping, as I was descending, if you will, I remember feeling that I didn't descend into nothingness because I was trying so hard to be positive throughout the day. I descended into still positivity. So I was working throughout my day yesterday to get myself up to an 80 to a 90 of positivity, of gratefulness, of appreciativeness, of slowness. So that when I had that tough call, that 80, that 90 dropped down to a 20 or 30, but 20 or 30 are still in that world of still being empowered, still feeling like we can, still being positive. That's a totally different conversation than walking around like barely going through life, surviving, feeling like you're right in between happy and upset, empowered and disempowered, and then you have a tough conversation and you're in the dumps. What that means you're in the dumps, it means that you're disempowered, which means the ability to be creative, to be resilient, to overcome the challenge, to see the good in that challenge, of which there are so much. So many times in my life that I've seen challenge, it's through that challenge is their blessing. If I can just hold on and stay positive and see it within the challenge. Right now, there's an incredible time of disruption. Forget health. Everyone should just be healthy and well. And I don't want to go anywhere near that now. God should bless everybody that they should be healthy and well. Talking about economic now. In the world of the economic disruption right now, there are industries, there are jobs, there's money. There are things that are being disrupted right now. And positive people that are able to hold on, that are grateful, that know how to use their minds a little bit more efficiently than others, will look through that challenge and they'll find opportunity that was not there before. That same person, without the recognition of their deficiencies, without the knowledge of how they can shine their focus on positive things, without the time every day to spend in gratitude, without taking a few minutes in the morning and being thankful that you have what you have, by living this world of it's coming to me versus it's not coming to me. And if God gives it to me, then I'm really appreciative. If you don't have those moments when you go into your day and you see the challenge before you, you don't have the invested capital to deal with the disempowerment that the world throws at you and still stay empowered enough to look through the shadows and see the opportunity. This isn't like a nice thing. This isn't like extra credit. This is it. This is how people make it. This is how people overcome challenge. This is how they do it. Either they do it from lack, and they're always like at the brink of destroying somebody, which I've seen, unfortunately, way too much, where you can't even protect your back because you think the person who likes you really is trying to backseat, that they're living in a dog-eat-dog world, or you do it from abundance. And you come from a place of such high levels of gratitude and faith and humility, and you work on that in those moments that you can, so that when you enter into a world of challenge, that world of challenge is going up against a person who's already fully in abundance, so that your perspective stays clear. Your perspective stays resilient. Your perspective allows you to see opportunity where others people's just always see darkness. I was recently on a conference call once, and a guy got on the call. He's like, it's all terrible. It's going to be terrible. And firing everybody. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wow. The entire conversation was the terribleness of everything. There was not even a glimmer of hope. And maybe he's right. Maybe everything's going to be terrible and just fire everybody. But I can tell you one thing. When the opportunity comes around, it's all going to be terrible guy. These guys never really make it. They're great at cost cutting, but they're not great at rebuilding. That's not how it works. That's how it is in life. The opportunity to rebuild yourself, the opportunity to reinvent yourself, the opportunity to rebuild your relationships. Right now, what's going on is that people are spending time with their spouses more than they ever did in their lives. I'm getting 2 types of phone calls. I kid you not. I was on a marriage show. I kid you not. You can't make this up. Half of the calls or whatever the advice are coming in saying, like, I had no idea. My husband, my wife, they're so wonderful. I never spent time with them, my kids. And then it calls like, who did I marry? Like, how quickly can I file for divorce? I'm like, whoa, calm down. Because people look over and they're looking at the person that they're with, and they're just living in this world of what they're not. And when you live in a world of what people are not, when you live in that place where you allow your mind to not be in control of anything, what ends up happening is when the world gives you positive, which usually ends up being things that you want, you feel good about it. When the world gives you things that you don't want, you feel bad about it, and you're like a reed. But when you're in control, when you're looking for the good in somebody else, when you're looking for the things that are positive about them, that you sit with somebody, and the more you sit with them, the more you appreciate them. For the most part, my sense is that, of course, on the margins, there are incredible marriages that always should be taking place. They're like soul matching, and then there's like marriages, fine. In the middle, it's perspective. And you're seeing people right now, when they can't distract themselves with the rest of the world, having to like focus on their perspective. It's unbelievable. This is our challenge. And once we get this, we can start building it. Like once we realize that we've got like building blocks in front of us. Block 1, I'm limited in what I can see. Block 2, I can focus my attention, even for a few moments, on something that I want to focus on. I don't have to be reactive my whole life. I can be proactive in how. Now, where am I putting my focus? Block 3, the more I put my focus on things that are going to increase empowerment and positivity and gratitude and relationship to God, etc., the more I'm filling up this vessel where I'm empowered, where my brain start to train themselves, my eyes look in the rooms and start to see things that I've always missed. I never realized that this person was cleaning up after me. I never realized that this person was working really hard, harder than I had thought, to do this thing. When you start conditioning yourself to look for the positive in every situation, your vessel fills up. You start to feel empowered. You start to feel resilient. You start your day off in a way in which you can do anything. Knowing that you're deficient. Not pretending you're more than you are. Knowing that you're deficient. Knowing that it is your perspective that's going to allow you to navigate the world. And when you go through the world and God sends positivity your way, it overflows your cup. And when you go through the world and you get a day that doesn't have so much positivity, you're positive enough to be able to overcome it. Because nothing is more powerful in overcoming and capitalizing on challenge than someone who's already empowered. And the way we build empowerment, it's not inborn. Most people, it's not inborn. For most people, it's conditioning. Now, some people are blessed with families that condition them properly. Okay. Some people are married to people that are conditioned. Okay, fine. But others, they just learn it themselves. Today, let's sort of continue this exercise until we can really feel it. Find something throughout your day, your family, your health, your home, your job, something, and slow it down in your mind. Slow the movie down so that you can appreciate it. Start to find things in it that you never really appreciated before. Start to feel the enjoyment of having the thing. Start to feel the fear of not having it, and now put it back in and go, wow, I can't believe I have this thing. And breathe. I've got a family. I got a home. I got enough money so I can put food on my table. And by doing that, what you're doing is you're filling up your cup. You're filling up your cup. And the more we do that, the more we focus properly, the more we become empowered. And once we become empowered, there's no telling what we can't do. Have a great day. Make it awesome. Push past good and great for awesome. Looking forward to speaking to you tomorrow.